guys, SwSh here. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Welcome back to another episode of MetroMania. And oh, what's that? Oh, look, bit of zip-up hoodie, fresh from the merch store. Ooh, very nice, very Moorish. Hiding a bit of G Fuel in here. Use code ACE, everything's all backwards. Hit like, share and subscribe. More MetroMania, mate. That's all you want, innit? Right. Brackets or something.
So in the last episode of MetroMania, we found our final quarterfinalist as Pangoro took down Scrafty. Patters beat Callum. I didn't even realise that, you know, that was Scrafty versus Pangoro. I didn't make the link between Callum and Patters, but I love it because I love my friends. But we have a final quarterfinalist. Now it's time for quarterfinal 1 to find out who's going to the semis and who is it going to be, Toxicroak or Grapploct. So here it is, it's Toxicroak versus Grapploct. Poison fighting versus fighting. Poison Dart Frog versus Octopus that isn't a water type for some reason. Let's get going. So of course, ability-wise, for those who don't remember these things, we're having the regular Grapploct with Limber, the shiny with Technician, the regular Toxicroak with Anticipation, and the shiny Toxicroak with Poison Touch. Believe that's what it is. Stealth Rock, obviously wasted turn by regular Toxicroak. Shiny Toxicroak's going to go for Focus Blast. It's avoided, so a completely wasted turn for the Toxicroak team. Regular Grapploct is going to go for Milk Drink. Its HP is full. Wasted turn. Can the final Grapploct finish this wasted turn with a wasted move? Goes for Gear Up, and that fails, so completely wasted first turn. Come on, guys. This is the quarterfinals. Sort it out. I need these things to be exciting. Come on. Do me a favor. Here we go. Shiny Toxicroak. It's ready to go. What's it going to do? It's going to go for Aerial Ace, which is super effective. That's more like it. Huge damage to shiny Grapploct there. And now it's over to regular Toxicroak to come up with some kind of response. It goes for Defog, which, you know, it lowers evasiveness. Gets rid of its own Stealth Rocks that it wasted the first turn doing. So there you go. Lowered evasiveness on the regular Grapploct there. So I guess it wasn't a total waste. Here's regular Grapploct, though, who's going to go for a Mach Punch, which will not be very effective there on the regular Toxicroak. Still did a decent amount of damage, though. Toxicroak doesn't have the bestest of defenses there. Go Dragon Tail, though, coming from shiny Grapploct onto that same regular Toxicroak for massive damage there. Really hitting Toxicroak hard. I mean, Toxicroak's base defense is fairly low. Only at 50... Wait, is it 55? 65. I'm just terrible at reading. That's me. But here we have a Haze removing stat changes. So does that remove... Wait, does that remove the -1 evasiveness? Oh my word, what is happening with these Toxicroak? We see Bulldoze from shiny Toxicroak. Bit of a mistake there because that's super effective on its partner. That's not good. Going to lower its partner's speed, but also lower its opponent's speed as well. Didn't do as much damage to the Grapploct team, though, as it did to its own partner. So not the smartest move there by the shiny Toxicroak. Now, what's going to happen here? Leech Life, though, coming from shiny Grapploct onto that regular Toxicroak there. Not a great deal of damage because it is resisted, but just restoring a little bit of HP. Bringing shiny Grapploct just slightly over maximum HP there. Now we see the regular Grapploct going for a Bubble Beam, even though it's not a water type. It desperately wants to be a water type there. Does it take it down? Does. It takes down the regular Toxicroak there. Regular Toxicroak has fainted, and now it's 1 Toxicroak versus 2 Grapploct. What is going to happen here? The Grapploct team really seem to have the advantage right now. They seem to be doing a lot better than the Toxicroak team, that's for sure. Now, we see Psychic coming out from shiny Toxicroak, which will be super effective on shiny Grapploct. It's not quite enough to take it out, though. Really unfortunate for Toxicroak there. Now Grapploct, regular Grapploct getting rid of with Grassy Glide. It is going to be resisted by the poison type Toxicroak, but it does do a decent little chunk of damage there with that critical hit. Toxicroak needs to take out one of these Grapploct if it wants to get that first fall. We see Rock Wrecker coming out. Again, it'll be resisted from shiny Grapploct, though. Does have a lot of power behind it, though. Onto shiny Toxicroak for a good chunk of damage there. It will need to recharge on the next turn, which means that Toxicroak does have an opportunity to try and turn this battle around. Shiny Toxicroak getting ready. What's it going to do? It's going to go for Conversion. That's not a very clever play against a fighting type Pokemon. When you're changing your only weakness to fighting, that's scary. There's the recharge on the shiny Grapploct. I don't think that was a smart play. We see Tea Time coming out from regular Grapploct, so everyone's going to eat their held berries. How often do you get to see Tea Time happening? No one ever uses it. There we go. Everyone's going to restore their PP with their leper berries. Isn't this lovely? Nice little tea break in the middle of a battle. Fantastic. It's dragging it out. It's getting me more ad revenue. I really appreciate it, guys. Can we have tea time happening more often in these Metronome battles? I really appreciate it. You know, got bills to pay and all that. Shiny Toxicroak going to start the next turn off, though. It's still very much in danger. Goes for Scratch on which of the Grapploct there. On the Shiny, taking it out the equation. That is the smartest play it could have done. Taking that Grapploct out. Now it's just mono a mono. It's Frog versus Octopus. Here we go. Grapploct going for Sand Attack. Going to lower the accuracy of that Toxicroak there, which could be the downfall of Toxicroak if it can't hit these moves. It certainly doesn't have the HP advantage, because that's what Grapploct has the HP advantage with all that HP there. Can Toxicroak try and balance this battle out and take charge? Goes for Expanding Force. This could do some significant damage. Psychic type, super effective move there. Huge damage to Grapploct. There you go. Advantage now on the side of Toxicroak. Grapploct's going to go high horsepower, though, which is no longer super effective because Toxicroak changed to a normal type. Oh my god, I take it back. I take back what I said about conversion. If it hadn't used conversion, it would have been knocked out right there. Toxicroak saved itself by changing to a normal type. It's going for Worry Seed. It's going to get rid of Limber. Weird, actually. That's weird. So Limber means that Grapploct can't be paralyzed, and now you've changed that to Insomnia, so it can be paralyzed now, but it can't be put to sleep. Swings and roundabouts. Oh, bit of a glitch on the part of my computer. Thank you very much, computer. That's with the recording as well. That's not even with the, that's not with right now. But anyway, Bite takes out Toxicroak, regardless of my computer having a moment, having a Barney. Thanks, OBS. Thanks a bunch, mate. It's 1-0 to Grapploct. Grapploct in the driver's seat. Toxicroak struggling right now. Wasn't quite enough in the last battle to survive against Grapploct. So Grapploct got to be feeling pretty confident right now. Regular Toxicroak, though, is going to go for Trick or Treat. How sensible is that? I don't think that's very sensible at all. Adding the Ghost type to Grapploct. So Grapploct is now basically Marshadow. Shiny Grapploct is fighting and Ghost now. But that means that it can't be hit by normal type moves or by stab fighting type moves. There's the Flame Charge, though, doing a little bit of damage from Shiny Toxicroak onto Shiny Grapploct and increasing its speed by 1 stage. We see Dragon Pulse from regular Grapploct here onto regular Toxicroak. Let's see how much that does. A nice chunk of damage there, a decent chunk of damage. And over to Shiny Grapploct for its first turn of this battle. Goes for Confuse Ray, not a bad play right there. Onto the Shiny Toxicroak. So that Shiny Toxicroak is now going to be confused for a number of turns. Will it hit itself in confusion? I guess we have to wait and see and find out as we see everyone get ready for the next turn. Which way is this going to go? Toxicroak needs a victory here if it wants to stay in the game. Shiny Toxicroak is going to hit itself in confusion for a good chunk of damage as well. Doesn't have the defenses for that. Here we see the regular Toxicroak, though, going to try and do something significant. Goes for Parting Shot, going to reduce the attack and special attack of Shiny Grapploct by 1 stage apiece. It won't switch out, though, because these are just 2 teams of 2. So probably helping its team out a little bit there by taking the firepower out of the Grapploct team. We see Charge coming out from regular Grapploct there. Going to increase its special defense, I want to say. Increasing its special defense by 1 stage, making it a little bit more difficult to take down. Not a bad play there at all. Here's Aura Sphere, though, from Shiny Grapploct. Not going to be very effective on Shiny Toxicroak there, but does do a little bit of chip damage. A little bit of chip damage goes a long way. Any damage is better than no damage. Am I right, boys? Am I right? Hey, up top. That's it. Snapped out Confusion, though, Shiny Toxicroak. Not going to hit itself anymore. Not even going to risk it. Goes for Water Shuriken. Just basically rubbing it in the face of Grapploct that it's not a water type, you know, just mocking it. There's 2 hits. There's 3 hits. Are we getting any more? Just the 3 hits there with the Water Shuriken. And now a regular Toxicroak is ready to go. It's going to go for Hyper Beam. Doesn't affect Shiny Grapploct. This is what I was talking about. Normal type move. Now you've changed it to a Ghost type. Very silly. Here's Retaliate, though, from regular Grapploct onto the regular Toxicroak there for a big chunk of damage. Decent chunk of damage, to be fair. That was very significant, bringing it down to less than half its max HP. Shiny Grapploct going to go for Rain Dance. How smart is that? You're increasing the power of water-type moves. I guess nobody's weak to water, so it's not that bad, but still an interesting play nonetheless. What's going to happen? I really don't know which way this battle's going to go, but it's not looking good for Toxicroak right now. They're 1 fall down, and one of them is very much on the ropes at less than half its max HP. Here's a Vine Whip from Shiny Toxicroak onto that Shiny Grapploct there for a little bit of chip damage. They're just chipping away, trying their absolute best. We see Fake Tears from the regular Toxicroak there onto the regular Grapploct, dropping its special defense harshly, so it's now at -1 special defense because it was at +1. Here's a Hyper Voice from the shiny Grapploct, I should say, onto both the Toxicroak there, just chipping away at them slowly. Toxicroak needs to do something if it wants to equalize here. We see Rest coming out from the regular Grapploct. They're going to restore its HP, go back to full health. Wasn't even worth it, actually, because it's really close to full HP. But now it's going to be asleep for 2 turns. Not sure how smart that was, to be honest, by Grapploct. Can Toxicroak capitalize, though? Can it take advantage of one of the Grapploct being asleep for the next 2 turns? We see shiny Grapploct gearing up, getting ready, going for Sludge Attack, which will be Stab. Believe it's not resisted. I always think Poison resists Fighting, but it's the other way. Fighting resists Poison, but it's the other way around, is what I wanted to say. Decent damage, though. Razor Shell, powered up by the rain. Decent chunk of damage there from regular Toxicroak onto the regular Grapploct, lowering the defense as well. And of course, it's still fast asleep, so over to shiny Grapploct to try and follow up after all that action. Storm Throw coming out, going to be resisted, but guaranteed a critical hit there. Huge chunk of damage regardless onto the shiny Toxicroak there, putting it in the danger zone. This is not looking good for the Toxicroak team right now. They are definitely in a danger zone, some would say. They're in danger of being knocked out. Here's Whirlpool, powered up by the rain, onto that shiny Grapploct there. Doesn't do much damage, though, because remember, it is Whirlpool after all. But that is going to damage that Grapploct to the end of each turn. We see Clanging Scales come out from the regular Toxicroak there. It's going to lower its defense, but it does knock out one of the Grapploct there that was asleep. So down goes its defense. Now it's over to shiny Grapploct to try and keep up the pressure on the Toxicroak team. What's it going to do? It's going to go for Present. Is it going to do damage or is it going to heal? We don't know till it hits. It does damage, and it's enough to take down regular Toxicroak, so we're down to 1 versus 1. And there's the Whirlpool taking effect once again on the shiny Grapploct. At this point, this Toxicroak just needs to survive if it wants to equalize. That's all it needs to do. It just needs to survive, but it only has 27 hit points left. What is Toxicroak going to do here? It's going to go for Fury Attack. It doesn't affect Grapploct because its partner earlier turned Grapploct into a Ghost type. This is not good. Sand Attack from the shiny Grapploct there. Going to lower the accuracy of shiny Toxicroak, and that's not good for Toxicroak either. Toxicroak just needs to survive. The rain has stopped, but the Whirlpool, I believe, is still in effect. There's the Whirlpool, bringing shiny Grapploct into the danger zone. If the Whirlpool lasts one more turn, if Toxicroak can just survive, then it will live and go on and basically allow itself to go to a 3rd round. We see Sing coming out, and it is going to connect, which means I believe that Toxicroak has survived and equalized at the very last possible moment. Grapploct is asleep. Is the Whirlpool still in effect? It is still in effect. How much damage is it going to do? It's enough to take down Grapploct, and Toxicroak are still in this contest. They still have an opportunity. This last round means so much now because Toxicroak almost got kicked out of this competition but is still in it somehow, some way. Grapploct really needs to get their heads together right now because now they're having to fight for their place in the quarterfinals, in the semifinals now. We're in the quarterfinals, Liam. Keep up, man. There's a Leaf Tornado from shiny Toxicroak to start things off. And that is a nice chunk of damage right there. Over to regular Toxicroak. What will it do to follow up on its partner's action? Goes for Blast Burn. Now, there's a great move. It will have a recharge turn on the next turn, though. But significant damage there to shiny Grapploct. But over to shiny Grapploct now to retaliate. What will it do? Goes for Flame Charge. Wants to increase its speed. Flame Charge on. Oh, massive damage as well to shiny Toxicroak there. A big chunk of damage for just a Flame Charge. Over to the regular Grapploct now. What's on Grapploct's mind here? It's going to go for Leaf Blade, which will be resisted by that regular Toxicroak, but still a good chunk of damage for a resisted move right there. So this is still anybody's game. Both these Pokemon want to go through to the semifinals. Toxicroak, of course, has to recharge, so only shiny Toxicroak will get to move this turn from its team. Goes for Electric Terrain, so nobody's going to be falling asleep. Interesting play right there. Let's see if it pays off for Toxicroak, or let's see if it gives an advantage for some reason to the Grapploct team. What will Grapploct do here? We've got shiny Grapploct getting ready for its move of this turn. What's it going to do? Going to go for Throat Chop. No sound-based moves for 2 turns from shiny Toxicroak there. Love that move. I really do. Very, very nice move. And over to regular Grapploct here. What's Grapploct going to do? Going to go for Wrap. It's avoided by Toxicroak, so a wasted turn there. But a wasted turn is an opportunity for your opponent. Always remember that. So now, Shiny Toxicroak is ready and raring to go. What will it do here? Going to go... Oh, Throat Chop prevents its move. There you go. So great play by Grapploct on the previous turn. Here's the Toxic coming out, and it will always hit because it's coming from a poison type. 100% accuracy is Toxic from a poison type. So now there is a timer on regular Grapploct. It is slowly going to be worn down by that poison, and it will not last very long because, of course, badly poisoned from the Toxic is a lot worse than the regular. Here's Psych Up from the Shiny Grapploct there, copying Shiny Toxicroak stat changes, which, have there been any? Don't think I have. And here's regular Grapploct with a Flamethrower onto which of the Toxicroak here? Onto the regular. Will it get the burn? It got a decent chunk of damage there, no burn, and then it suffers the poison damage at the end of the turn there from that Toxic previously in the battle. This is really neck and neck right now. This really could go either way. I've literally got no idea who's going to win this one. We see the Shiny Toxicroak going for Leaf Tornado once again. I believe it started this battle with Leaf Tornado. Does a nice little chunk of damage there to that regular Grapploct. Drops its accuracy by one stage. That's not good for Grapploct. Over to regular Toxicroak, who's going to go for Astonish. Possibly trying to get a flinch. I believe Astonish flinches. Onto that Shiny Grapploct there. Shiny Grapploct isn't going to flinch, though. I'm fairly sure Astonish is a flinching move. Has a possibility, at least. Mega Drain, not going to be very effective from Shiny Grapploct, but will restore a tiny little bit of HP, which sometimes, well, as we've seen from the earlier battles in this, a little bit of HP can make all the difference. Here we see Grapploct, regular Grapploct, going for Submission. Nice same type attack bonus, but will be resisted by Shiny Toxicroak. Still a decent chunk of damage. Little bit of recoil will come from that as well as the poison damage for the end of the turn. Shiny Toxicroak in a difficult position right now with just 38 hit points left, but every Pokemon on the field is in the yellow, so it's difficult to tell which way this is going to go. Regular Toxicroak is going to start this turn off, though, and it's going to go for Zing Zap, which does have a flinch chance as well. Going to do decent physical damage. Not quite enough to take out regular Grapploct there. Now, Shiny Toxicroak, though, is going to follow up with a Growl, lowering the attack stat of each of its opponents, which is not a bad shout, because if they can't hit you hard enough, they won't take you out quick enough, is basically the MO of dropping someone's attack like that. And we see the flinch on regular Grapploct, so it's over to Shiny Grapploct to try and capitalize, and goes for Fusion Flare. I mean, if you're going to capitalize well. There's the Fusion Flare onto the regular Toxicroak there. How much damage will it do? It brings Toxicroak down into the danger zone there. Regular Grapploct succumbing to the poison and faints. So we're down to 1 Grapploct and 2 Toxicroak. Have Toxicroak turned this entire round around? Have they turned this entire battle around? Are they going to go through to the semi-finals, or is Grapploct going to turn this battle around once again? Shiny Toxicroak goes for Avalanche. It hasn't been attacked this turn, so it won't do as much damage as it could have. Not a lot of damage there at all from that Avalanche. So over to regular Toxicroak. What's it going to do here? It's going to go for Play Rough, which will be super effective, but how much damage will it do? It's enough, and Toxicroak have completely turned it around. They are going through to the semi-finals. Well done to the Toxicroak team. That was absolutely clutch at the end of that second round, and they really pulled it out of the bag. Let's take a look at the brackets and see how the semi-finals look. We have Toxicroak in the semi-finals. Next week, we'll find out Toxicroak's opponent as Hitmontop takes on Lucario. Make sure you tune in.
So that'll do it for another episode of Metromania. Hit like if you enjoyed, hit subscribe if you're new, and share this video with a friend. If you'd like to support the channel, head over to Twitch, become a Twitch subscriber, it'd be awesome. And of course, use code ACE, money off G Fuel. But until next time, I'm Ace Trainer Liam. Keep on training.